spend, depending on the size of this wouldn't be $300, but it would be $150. It's got this mat. But if you use your 40% coupon, you can get $100. Are you employed? Okay. I know. So, but the point is, what we're talking about, Karen and I are talking about, is that dang, you don't have $300 to frame this thing that you're going to put in a show. Maybe somebody will buy it, but you know what?
They're not going to buy it for $300 and whatever dollars.
Right. So here's the deal. This is what Larry and my philosophy has always been. We're the artists. We will put it in a decent, nice frame that you can take home and put on your wall, okay? But if you want something fabulous, you get to pay for that because, first of all, you're going to want to choose what that is. So why should we spend pardon me, I should talk. Right, so you want the framing to be basic.
But it looks nice.
So you buy the less expensive frames. They have no wires. So that made him a good candidate. Is to put on a couple of D-rings and some wire. Now,
show us what you
yes, that's what I'm doing. Now this is from a company called Picture Hang Solutions. Okay, and they send you. How many are in here? I don't have pricing for you. I'm sorry. These are really old, and actually we've mixed these up. Here's a couple of small ones, a couple of big ones. So we've got 2 big ones, 3 mediums, and 2 smalls, and the screws that go with. So that's kind of, to get an assortment pack is nice. Interested in having this available to us, could go together and get, these are big so you can see. Here are D-rings. Here's a couple more. And then just the screws that go in them, and you can see they're not very big. So if you look here, and it's not going to go through your frame. There are all these little things you got to think about. Right. That's why people go, oh, screw it, I'm just going to take it to Michael's and have them frame it. But you can do this yourself. So the D-rings, now we'd want to use these smaller ones, more appropriate. Okay. So we've got our D-rings and our wire, D-rings and screws and wire, and that's the basic thing, okay? Now, toolage and so forth. You need a tape measure, ideally, just a little dinky, lightweight tape measure. You can use a steel ruler, but this you can hook over and blah, blah, blah. So this is really easy. Now, we're just gonna go basic at first, and then I'll show you a couple other little things. Okay. As Lisa was pointing out earlier, the best ratio to follow is a 2/3, 1/3 with regard to where do you put the D-ring so the thing hangs on the wall properly and doesn't lean out. You were talking about that was an issue on one of your pieces.
2/3 of 1/3.
Yeah. So if you come down, so this is 13. Be easy if it was a 12. It would be 3, but so I ballpark it. So this would be 4 into 12. So it'd be a little bit over, like 4 1/4. And it's not rocket science.
It just has to match on side to side.
Well, exactly right. So let's say we're going to put this. It's 13. So 3 divided into 12 is 4. So we're going to make it like 4 1/4. Now, so what you would do is you take a pencil. Ideally, and you would bring this down, and let's say we're going to go at 4 1/4. The screw there, but not the. What about the loop?
The loop, because I use
the loop goes
we
at
don't
4.
use. Yeah, I would put the loop at the 4 1/4.
Okay, you use the screw eyes, and I don't. Oh, thank you. So you put your. So if I wanted it 4 1/4, where the wire should be.
The top of the loop.
So exactly, just inside the loop. Well, let's just do the top, because otherwise we're crazy. All right, and then. Position it where you want it, center it, okay, and just draw your circle. And now you've got the place where you're going to drill. And make sure you go around the inside of the circle, just spin it around there, and then you'll have the exact thing. So see that you can see that pretty easily. Now we come over here and do the same thing, because they need to be even. And again, it's not like micro. All right, now we've got our 2 points marked at 4 1/4 at the top of the loop. Now, electric drills, it's easy to and who knows what, it can be bad. So simple sometimes is better and it's less expensive. So this is called a Yankee drill, and you can get different drill bits. It opens and closes here, and you can, pull out your bit and replace it, do whatever. Okay, so this.
I hear you can do that.
You hear that? So then you put, now, brilliant Larry, who, we learned the hard way, so then we'd make little interesting adjustments. This tape is on here because you don't want to go any farther than that, because a lot of these things, you don't want it to go too deep in your wood. You don't want it coming out the other side. So we put this tape on here.
And you're okay
Becky.
to do that with the glass in there. Oh, it's
Oh
only
yeah.
an eighth of
I
an
mean,
inch
well,
in the
I'll
wrap.
tell you what. Yes, because you've got it all together.
Right.
You've got it to this point.
Well, you-
All right, so here's your hole, and you just punch it. It ratchets.
Oh, how
Look
fun.
at this.
What's the
What
wires
a
out?
cool
Even
tool.
if you have arthritis in your hands,
I love this tool.
I've
it's a
never
fabulous
seen
tool.
And I don't even do this stuff.
That is
I
nice.
wouldn't go for
And you
dental
see?
surgery with
you
that.
look, you got, okay, I reached my point, okay, up to the
I've
tape.
never seen one of those. Have you, Mike? Have you ever seen one?
Does they come with different points?
Yeah, they're different drill bit size.
Then I had to be careful with some of them.
Okay, so
Almost framed.
now we have, and this is what I do. Oh, did I bring a screwdriver? All right, yay. This is where a really little, small, and I didn't bring mine. Actually, mine is bigger than tiny. A little tiny drill. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We
Me
had
too. Oh, I have one. Oh, I have one like this without the handle. Stadium Hardware in Ann Arbor. Where's
You've
this one
had one
from?
like that.
Still have it. Still have it. All right. So now, again, you can use one of those little battery-powered screwdrivers. That's fine. But again, it's real easy to slip off and scratch it. So we do these by hand. Sometimes we do the little drill, or the little screw gun, but we mostly do it by hand because. All right, so you just screw it in. I'm sorry I didn't do so well in terms of, this will work. Seeing if I had wire that was also supposed to. You can buy this wire by the spool, and it's so much cheaper. So if we did go together, we just buy a big honking spool of maybe two, a heavier one and a lighter weight one. That's a possibility. This is just a thought.
What's he doing over
What?
He's getting on the.
cat.
He's thinking about getting jumping somewhere he shouldn't.
Okay, so you want to have enough wire. So now these are on here nice and sturdy.
Oh, and they pivot.
Yes, they.
I didn't
You can
understand
screw
those.
them down tight
Oh.
enough, which I did not do.
Well, do you
they
want it to
decide
pivot or do you don't
I
want it to
like
pivot?
them to pivot a little bit, but
I
so
was
you can.
wondering how that was going to work.
I like to be able to move them because once the wire.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
It's the
pretty
angle
tight.
of the wire. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, so your wire. So, and again, Lisa, you could probably look at this and go, oh, you're not doing it right. But this is the basic way to do it.
You
At
go
least,
through twice?
huh?
Do you go through once?
Yeah,
go through
no, I
twice.
go through twice.
Okay, good.
All right, so what I like to do, however, is figure out the wire and cut it, because a lot of times it's on the spool. So, so you just wrap up, like in this case, I just leave about 3 inches or so-ish. You could do more than that. And then I do this by eye, but then Lisa was saying you measure halfway between where your loop is and the top of the frame, so that'd
Too
be
complicated. Becky.
roughly here. Well, you don't want it. You don't want it
see
higher.
better here. See, and that's
Yes. Mm-hmm.
up halfway between there and there.
So
Halfway.
it doesn't go above the edge. I've got a
Correct.
couple of
Well,
those.
that
Yeah.
happens sometimes. Your
Yeah,
wire's
it
too
does.
long, and then
I
it's all
do.
messed
I have
up.
those.
Yep, and that's
Do it
you know.
right.
Then you find a decorative hook.
Well,
Right.
you can
I
shorten
have those
that
because
wire.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Now the other thing you need is wire cutters.
One thing to think about is how heavy your frame is.
Absolutely.
Because once you hang it, your wire's going to stretch a little bit in everything.
A
So
little bit. Oh, good
if you
point.
come too close to the top of your frame on the back,
Right.
once it hangs, it might show.
That's
a
why
little.
if you go halfway
you-
between,
You want to
and
even
you're-
go a little bit lower, because then when you hang it, it's going to stretch.
Yeah.
Or
Well, it
always
should,
use
the
a
way
good
I mean,
halfway between,
Halfway
that
between
even
you
if it
wouldn't show the-
stretches an inch,
yeah,
you
it
still
wouldn't-
got plenty of room.
Correct. I just
So-
meant account for it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
That's what I've done that too.
These words are ingrained in my brain.
Hungry.
Over, under, around, and through. So you've got your wire
Girl
through,
Scouts.
and if you know a better way to do it, you can jump right in. Over, so I go over, under, around, and through.
Over,
I just go
under,
through
around.
twice.
The way the loop is. See how the loop, and then it's catching in there really well. And when it pulls, there's no way that's going to come undone, because the final thing you do then is you take your excess wire and you carefully, some people do this in a really sloppy way. It's worth taking the time, even though it pokes your finger. A lot of times that wire hurts. And then you just wrap it tightly around. And then if you ever do need to make some kind of adjustment, or one of your rings come, I don't know, whatever you might do, or you're going to reframe. That's happened where we've said, oh, I like this frame. Let's take Scruffy Bunny out and put in something that is portrait.
Yeah.
Now you have to take these D-rings off, whoopsie, and put them here for a portrait as opposed to landscape. All right, now again, measuring halfway, and you know, you can eyeball it. It's not, again, it's not like precision science.
I have a hard time getting that side tight.
Me too.
Well, again, don't go too high. If you're going halfway between, all right, so now you've got over, let's see if I do this right, under, around, oh, okay, over the D-ring, under the strand, around, over, under, around, and then through, and you need to go through your loop. And that gives you, and this is where it's tricky, what you were saying. You take a pair of pliers or your wire cutters and don't pull too tight, actually. Let's get out the end. And work it through. There we go. It's worth just taking the time to loop it around and get it right. And now I'm still at halfway, double check it.
Good.
Now you, again, wind your wire.
I would have cussed all the way through that.
If you look, I'm doing this in two ways. I'm leaving a little space between as I'm doing this one, and you can see the difference in which one you like. I don't know which is correct.
Who's gonna see it?
Which
It doesn't matter
it
as long as it works.
you are, or the person doing it. So now here we are. We've got our D-rings right where we want them. We got the wire right where we want it. Everything is stabilized. It's not going to come undone. And now you just take it to the Carnegie and you hang it over one of their little bracket things, and everyone is happy.